Uh-oh.
Oh, Ginger.
She barks when I do demos. Okay, I'm gonna go put her in the bedroom. Hang on. Hey.
Of course, right when I start recording.
It's okay. No, it's okay. Because she's too spoiled. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna clip up this hair and we're gonna double drape. So we're gonna do 2 towels and then we're gonna do a chemical drape for chemical. I'm gonna make sure. I should have sanitized my hands before I started this, so if you could write that first. I got a tiny bit thrown off by my little turkey. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do, she's draped now. And this is really important with the chemical hair straightening is you definitely wanna check for CADs, cuts, abrasions, diseases, and disorders. So I'm just gonna go through her scalp really quickly. You also, this would be the time, you follow manufacturer's directions, but you would ask the person if they've washed their hair in the last 24 to 48 hours. And she looks like she's okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and perform the service on her. I'm going to comb her hair out a little bit so it's easy to maneuver. Okay. So I'm just gonna do a basic section into 4. Let me know if you guys can see okay, if there's anything different I can do. We've went back and forth whether it's better with light or without light. You guys let me know what you need from me. Right now I'm just sectioning into 4 and I know that you all know how to do that. I like to, when I do this service, I like to use plastic butterfly clips. Because it really holds they hold the hair up really well because the hair's dry. Does that make sense to everybody?
Do you mind saying that one more time, please?
So I use plastic butterfly clips for this when I'm sectioning the hair because it holds the hair really well because the hair's dry. You know, yoettes, I feel like work really well when the hair is damp or wet, like when you're doing haircuts. But the hair's dry, so I prefer to use plastic butterfly clips. Okay. So she's sectioned into 4. You guys are all sectioning into 4, right? Everybody? Okay. Okay. Dry hair. Okay, so this is the time that, and see, this is how I have this labeled. It's labeled protective base cream or protective base because when you do a sodium hydroxide relaxer, you use protective base cream versus just protective cream. And as I know that you guys have learned, you're going to remove it safely. So make sure you have a spatula out. And you're going to put the gel on your wrist. And then you're going to clean your, whoop, so hot it's going to melt. My apartment's very hot, so I'm going to remove half of this. See if I can work with that. And then you could already have had a TPT out to wipe your spatula down so that you can put it back on your SMA. Everybody knows about that, correct? Yes? Everybody give me a shake of the head? Great. Okay, so when we do our protective base cream for sodium hydroxide, my trash is here. We're gonna go around the hairline, just like you've learned, around the ears, all the way around the back. And at this point now, I'm gonna base, I call it the tea parting, but we're gonna base all the parts. First, so I'm gonna start with from the front of the head all the way down to the nape. So you're gonna put the base cream right on the scalp. So you can either run your fingers straight down like this, or a lot of students choose to dab, okay? So you kind of want to work in a timely manner. So I'm putting the product all the way down the hairline to the back, this part, and then I'm going to do the side of the parts from the apex to behind the ear. So now my hairline is based and my I call it a tea parting, but the partings. So the next step is that I'm going to start in the back. This is the left side. And I am going to drill you on this. We are going to start in the back. And we're probably going to do 2 subsections the day when we do have a drill. And so let's just start in the left quadrant. So what you want to do is you're going to pick up like your rat tail comb, and you're going to subsection 1/2 inch sub partings, and you're going to base the scalp in the partings. So I'm just going to use my comb, move the hair, and get my protective cream, and I'm just going to base. And can you guys see this good enough? Can everybody see what I'm doing? Let's see, put the hair that way. So subpart the hair, base, put it on the part, directly on the scalp. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Is it horizontally or
Horizontally, good question, Priya. Horizontally. Can you guys see that? And I'm going to continue to work horizontally down the back of the head.
So you're doing the back first?
I am doing the back first because this is where I'm going to start my procedure.
Okay.
Good question. So can you see you either just are going to run this product or you can dab. So what I mean by that is some students like to do this, but we will check that you have based the entire scalp. All the way down to the nape.
How big is your subparting? Is it 1/8 of an inch?
Can you say that again?
How big is your subparting? Is it
Half an
1/8?
inch.
Half an inch?
Yeah, good question. And usually when you guys, if you did sodium hydroxide relaxers, you'll see where they'll talk about what kind of base cream you should use, or some of them you can buy them and they're no base sodium hydroxide, but we're teaching you how to base so you guys can know about basing the scalp. Okay, so I'm just going to continue.
So the reason behind putting this cream is so the chemical does not touch the skull.
Say that again.
What is the reason behind putting this cream on the skull?
Well, it's protective. That's why it's called protective base cream, because sodium hydroxide is very caustic. It has an alkaline of about 13 to 14. So a lot of times it can burn the scalp.
On the scalp. So if the straightening is happening on the hair, so it's going to leave that much of hair not getting straightened wherever the cream
We're
is being
just
applied?
literally putting it on the scalp.
Okay, so it's not touching any hair.
It's touching some hair, but the roots, remember the roots are always going to process pretty easy.
Okay. I'm just wondering because the protective cream is like a Vaseline, right? If you put it on.
Well, there are specific products that are protective creams.
Okay.
So I'm using obviously gel, but there's protective base cream. And if I can find a picture of some, I'll show you.
Okay.
So those are great questions. And yeah, it's kind of a concept like you're putting it on the scalp, even though you want your roots to be straightened. But don't forget that heat zone is still going to get straightened even with protective base cream.
Okay.
But literally, I'm literally applying this right, on the hair. So I'm not trying to get it as much. I'm literally applying it right on the scalp in the parts. So I'm not trying to get it too much on the hair, but you're going to get it on the hair. That's okay.
Miss Salido, sorry.
Don't be sorry. I love questions. I live for it.
When we do this, are we going to use gloves?
So the base cream, I'm not using gloves, but when you start doing the shaving cream, because that's when you'll actually have the product out, you can use gloves.
Okay.
Now, some students don't like the icky feeling of the gel, and it's fine with me if you wanted to put gloves on while you're putting the gel on. That is not a place where I would have an issue with that at all.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but I like, working with my fingers until I have to put my gloves on. So I have it in my notes or on these pages that the gloves go on after I base the scalp. Good question. Okay, so once I'm done with this section, you gotta base all the sections before you start the procedure. So you're gonna base all 4 quadrants. Now, do you guys need to see me base all 4 quadrants? So if we started in the left back, where are you gonna go next? The right in the back, and then I don't care which one you go to in the front next. But I do wanna show you how I want you to base the front and how I'm gonna want you to apply the product. I like horizontal partings. So I don't know if when you guys did your other procedures, like when you did, when you guys learned how to do a bleach, did you do horizontal partings or did you start in the corner of the apex?
I think we did vertical.
Vertical? Long ways?
Yeah.
No? Okay. Well, I like horizontal partings, so I'm gonna take the parting this way. This is how I would want you to base on the top, and this is how I want you to, when we're gonna apply the product. So I'm just gonna take horizontal partings for the basing, and that's how I want you to apply the product. Does that make sense to everybody horizontally? Yes, can I see a thumbs up if you guys get what I mean that I want you to apply? Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Okay, so you're gonna, once you move to the front, you're gonna base horizontally as well, 1/2 inch. Good. Okay. And then you guys know that you're gonna make sure there's no hair on your comb before you put it down on your SMA. And I'm gonna sanitize my hands real quick. I get some gloves out. So this is the point in time when I'm gonna put my gloves on, but I do wanna remind you guys that it is not a deduction if you choose to put your gloves on before you put the base cream, okay? So I don't have a problem with that. So after you've based the scalp, you're gonna start your procedure. Give me 1 second here. Are you gonna be a good girl now, Ginger? Okay. So my gloves are on, and I'm gonna start my application. I'm gonna take out a torn paper towel to put it down on the head so that the hair doesn't, so that the product does not get on the rest of the hair. Did you guys do that when you did bleaching? I didn't put this in my procedure sheet, but I want you guys to write it on your notes. Once you put your gloves on, take a paper towel and place it in a spot that when I'm gonna lay the hair down, product won't get on the other hair. So it looks like, I'm gonna start in the back left. So this paper towel is sort of laying this way. And you'll see when I start laying hair over it. Does anybody have any questions about that so far? Okay. All right, so then at this time, I'm gonna take my gloves are on, and I'm gonna take my shaving cream. My label's made, simulated sodium hydroxide relaxer. All right, I prefer to use the wider brushes, the wider tint brushes or application brushes for these procedures. And it's hard, I know you guys don't have a bird's eye view, but I also know that you guys have been doing bleach applications, is that correct? So you guys all understand what a 1/2 inch away from the scalp is? Can I see a thumbs up? And then that the partings are gonna be 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch on this, okay? So no bigger sub partings than a 1/2 inch. Should be 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch sub partings for this. She's a little high. So every step you take when you do the basing, you base the whole scalp. And when we're gonna start this step, we're working What are we gonna tell, what, can somebody tell me what you're gonna say you're gonna do next after you base the scalp? We're gonna work in the what? What are we gonna call the 1/2 inch from the roots up to the porous ends?
Mid shaft.
Yes, thank you. So we're gonna say we're gonna be in the mid shaft area. And that first little triangle is always a little complicated. 1/2 inch. You want to apply a lot of product. We really want to be able to see it. And did Miss Madrano tell you 2 fingers from the ends? Teach you 2 fingers from the ends? Anyway, if you put 2 fingers together, that's equals about 1 inch from the ends. So that's about how far you're going to go up. Go to the front, and then you go to the back. And you want to stay, her ends are really bad, so you still want to just stay 2 inches from the ends. Does it, 1 inch from the ends. Does everybody know 1 inch from the ends? Yes? You guys got that? And then, I'm sure you've heard this. This is when you're going to banana peel the hair over. Her hair's a little long, and that's not my favorite thing in the world, but I picked a long hair doll. 1/2 inch from the roots, through the ends, up to the ends, sorry. Put as much product as you can so it doesn't dry up too fast. 1 inch from the ends. Any questions about this part? Can you guys see how the towel keeps it so that the product doesn't get on the rest of the hair? Can I see a thumbs up for that? Thank you.
So Ms. Knowles, is the product as creamy as the shaving cream?
Can you
or
sing that a little louder?
Is the product as creamy as the shaving cream, or is it more liquid, hydrogen peroxide?
Oh, the sodium hydroxide?
Yeah.
Sodium hydroxide is extremely, extremely thick.
Okay. So
Have
it's
you
very
have you ever worked with the product called cholesterol?
Yeah.
It's as thick, if not thicker than cholesterol.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
So it's not going to leak through the paper.
Say that again?
It's not going to leak through the paper?
Oh, when you do the procedure on a person?
Yeah, when you're putting a paper between on the top of the head.
Somehow when you do this product on a person, it's just such a different way of doing it. It goes so much faster. It's not very much an issue. It's actually pretty thick. It doesn't leak through like a liquidy material.
Okay, because
So
I was thinking, why not use a plastic instead of paper towel?
That's great. I just think, to be honest with you, if it was real sodium hydroxide relaxer, it would melt plastic in a second.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It would melt plastic in a second. So 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch sub partings. 1/2 an inch away from the scalp. Up to 1 inch from the ends. Hold your 2 fingers up to where you want to go. Try to hold your brush like this. A lot of times we all want to go like this. Try not to do that too often, please. That's not the best habit in the world. Okay, and then banana peel when you lay it down. Any questions? What happens when I get into a really big section? When my section's really wide, what should I do? Can somebody tell me what I should do when the hair sections get too wide?
You can like cut it in half, sort of vertically.
Split the section. So I'll show you that. I have one more section until I split the section, okay? Great. Another thing that I see students do is because we want to make so sure that we just get so much product on there that we go like this. What do you think happens when we're doing this? Anybody? We're not doing anything. I counted a student one time. She did one strand of hair and she did 76 wipes, 76 like brush strokes. I could not believe what I saw. I was like, oh my goodness. That was crazy. But you want to make sure you have enough product on there that I can see the product. Hopefully you have shaving cream that won't dissipate too fast. And then banana peel. Any questions so far?
Yeah, so on a real client,
Yeah.
would you would use a napkin or
You probably can, but to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you and I've done hundreds of these in the salon. You're working so fast. This is why we practice these procedures. Number one, to understand them, but number two, the alkalinity of chemical relaxer is so high. You have got to work so fast. And so you just work so fast when you do that. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, if I'd done it on a person, when I do it on a person in a salon, if I've used a paper towel.
So where
You're
would you,
literally working so fast.
so like when you start in the back, where would you put the other hair like to the other side, or where would you put that?
Yeah, I lay it the same way, but it
I
just seems,
see.
huh?
Oh, I understand.
It just, you literally work so fast. It doesn't, I mean, maybe I did put a paper towel. I'm not sure, but the paper towel's only for while we're doing this in class. And because as you guys know, shaving cream literally gets everywhere. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
And I will mark you down if you get shaving cream all over her face and her ears, because that means that your client is burning, you know? So again, now what happened when the head starts to round, that's when you got to start to split the sections, but I'm still not quite there yet. So I'm going to do one more and then I'll show you splitting the section. So I am putting it on the front and the back. Okay, so now my next section is pretty wide, so I'm going to split that section. Half an inch. And I have to do the other half of the hair because my section got too wide. All right. Does anybody have any questions at this point? No? Okay, can you guys, do I need to demonstrate for you all the way down, or do you understand that you do the whole section? Yes? Everybody thumbs up? Obviously, you're gonna go all the way down to the nape. All right, so once I've finished this whole section, then I'm gonna bring the hair back.
Ms. Salido, I have a quick
Yeah.
question.
Yes.
What did you mean by splitting the hair? Isn't it already in two sections in the back? Are you gonna?
No, what I meant by that was when the head gets wider
Uh-huh.
and you are going to apply the product, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm bunching this hair in
Oh,
and
okay,
it
okay.
rounds because the head's round.
Mhm.
So I split this section this way and I do this half and then I do this half.
Oh, okay, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because when the head is rounding and it's the section's too wide, your application is not good. You
Okay.
have to split the section. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Everybody good? Everybody understand that? Did you get it, Carlos? Do you want me to demo it or demo it again?
No, I just had to see it because it was a little hard for me to see, but
I can do
know.
one more. I'll do one more, split the section.
Okay.
Perfect. So this is my subsection and it's too wide, so I'm going to take half of it. And I'm still going to go a half an inch from the root up to 1 inch from the ends. Hold my 2 fingers. Banana peel. And then I'm just going to do the other half of that one subparting. So it's one whole subparting and I split it in half. Okay? Because it got too wide. Is the hair going to be too wide in the nape? No. Okay. So everybody understands that we go all the way down to the nape for every section. Thumbs up? Yes? All right. So then I'm going to banana peel this hair back down. Once the entire section is finished, all right, let's leave that there. Okay, so after we do the left side, where do we go? After we do the mid shaft on the left side, where do we go?
The back right.
The back right. And then where?
Any front.
Any front. Very good. After I've done that, I've told my instructor or instructional aide, I've said, I'm doing a chemical straightening. They said, great. Then you say, I've sectioned and I've based the entire scalp. We check it. We said, yes, you did. And then you're going to go back and you're going to do the whole mid shaft on all 4 quadrants. You're going to come and say, I've done the mid shaft, and we're going to check it and say, great, or maybe you can add a little more product here or there. And then you're going to do the next step, which is going to be roots and ends. So now you're just going to come in and you're going to apply it to the root. You don't have to apply it down the shaft, but I just did because there was lacking product there. And you're going to apply it to the ends. And it's a messy business, and I understand. And then banana peel over. Pick up the next hair strand. Whoops, my banana peel got a little crazy. Sorry about that. Next hair strand, apply it to the roots. and apply it to the ends. You really have to have full coverage for these chemical relaxers to work. Next step, apply it to the roots and apply it to the ends. Just the ends and just the roots. Next step, apply it to the roots and apply it to the ends. Anybody have any questions about that so far? Questions, concerns?
Miss Salido,
Yes.
is that for when you're done applying it to the whole head and then you go back for the roots?
Once you have applied to the entire head, the mid shaft area, then you go back and you do roots and ends.
Okay.
Great question. There's no test strand here. You can mark that down. There's no test strand at that time with this procedure. All right, so can everybody understand that I just applied to the roots and the ends all the way down to the nape? Quarter inch to half inch subsections like I just did. Have a lot of paper towels out. You guys know that already. All right. All right. Okay, guys, so after you've done this section, you peel down the hair, banana peel. All right, so can everybody understand that we do the whole head, roots and ends? Can I get a head shake or a thumbs up? Thank you very much. So the last step, once you've done the whole head, is we're gonna come back and we're gonna do our straightening and smoothing technique. So you can take your rat tail comb, okay? You're gonna start where you, on the first strand on the top, and you're gonna use the back of the comb and you start to smooth the hair. And you're gonna use moderate tension. Okay, but what's important is once you smooth, a lot of the product comes off on the comb. So what we call it is you're gonna smooth and then you reapply because the product is still straightening the hair and it's still working. Okay? And still banana peel. Okay, so next strand of hair, smooth, moderate tension, reapply. And you can figure out what works better for you. If you smooth on the top and reapply, and then go to the back and smooth, and then you reapply. So when you guys reapply, please write this down. There should be as much product still almost on the hair. It should just look like it's been smoothed out. Back of the comb, smooth. And then we're gonna come in and reapply. Can you guys understand what I'm meaning by reapply? The product that came off when we smoothed. Does everybody understand that? Yes, thumbs up. Thank you guys. I appreciate your patience with this online. And then the back, smooth, and then reapply. And you're gonna go through every subsection like this. A chemical relaxer is something you will be doing at state board. Lucky for you all, you only have to do one strand of hair, but they are gonna ask you to do the application similar to what we just did, and they're gonna ask you to smooth the hair. So smooth with moderate tension, and then reapply the product that came off on the comb.
So when you say reapply, do you need more product ever, or is
No,
it
it's, you can sometimes if it doesn't, that product so it can continue to straighten the hair. Smooth the back and then reapply the product. Did that help? Did that make sense? Yes? Everybody understand that? Got it? All the way to the nape.
So, Mr. Little, I just wanted to make sure. So first we do the whole head. We leave the roots and the ends out, and then we go back when we finish the whole head and apply it to the roots and the ends.
Correct. So,
Okay.
so hold on. So first you're going to base the entire scalp.
Yeah.
Second, you're going to apply it to the mid shaft on the whole head. You're going to base the whole head. You apply to the mid shaft on the whole head.
Mhm.
Then you're going to go back to where you started and you apply to the roots and the ends on the whole head, starting in the back left. And then you're going to go back and do the smooth and reapply technique on the whole head.
Okay.
Miss Salido,
Yes.
for the smoothening and everything, is that like right when you're done with applying it to the roots and ends and you go back?
So yes, correct. After you've applied to the roots and the ends on the whole head, you're going to smooth and reapply. That's the time when it's time to smooth and reapply.
Okay, so we don't have to wait for a couple of minutes or anything?
No, not when we're doing this. When you're gonna, the whole point of this too is that when you do real sodium hydroxide, you gotta work fast.
Okay, thank you.
Great question. And then of course, when you get out there and you use this product, you're gonna wanna read the manufacturer's instructions. You guys have great questions, thank you. So,
wait, real quick, sorry.
yeah, no.
On an actual client,
Yes.
you would use the comb to do the roots or
Yes.
to do the smoothing?
You know, I've done it. You do use the comb to smooth the hair. It's always the back of the comb. Does everybody know that I use the back of the comb? You don't want to use the part with the spine. Sometimes you're working so fast that you can just use your hands, but I only want you guys to use the comb to smooth and reapply. You'll see on the thio relaxer that we're going to do, there's a part when you use your fingers to smooth, and that could also be one of your differences when it gets down to it. But I don't want you guys to be confused right now. You're going to always use the comb.
This comb is not going to melt with the sodium hydroxide?
The comb will not. No.
You have like plastic hair by the time.
You're going fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Salido,
Yeah.
for state board, if we're gonna do the strand, would we still have to base the entire head?
No.
Or around that
When
one?
we do the state, when you guys learn the NIC, you will do exactly what we teach you in ENIC. It will not be basing at that time.
Okay.
That's a great question. I don't want you to don't get too far ahead. I just want you to know that this is something we do at State Board, and it is important. Okay, so at this point in time, I've finished this whole section. I'm ready to go to my next section, and I'm just going to bring it down, banana peel. So what you can see is even though we've smoothed, we still reapplied the product, and it's still as much product on the hair, but we know we've smoothed it. And we don't want you guys to mush this down on the head. So that's what we see a lot of people do, and that's not what we want you guys to do. This stuff really burns the scalp, even though we know the product's on the scalp, but we don't want to pat it down. So it should look just like this after you smooth and reapply. Still not stuck, not mushed to the head, you know? Does everybody know what I mean by that? And then once you've done the entire head, then you're gonna come up to us and tell us that you're gonna go rinse this out with a steady stream of water, and you're gonna what? Can somebody tell me what you're gonna do after you rinse it out thoroughly?
Shampoo twice with the neutralizing shampoo.
Very good. And I want to hear that from you guys, because I want to know that you have to use a neutralizing shampoo. So you guys learned a little bit about a pH scale. So the whole point of the neutralizing shampoo is we've just took the hair to 13 pH. So once you rinse all the product out, you want to use a neutralizing shampoo so it brings the hair back to starting to get it more neutral. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so now once you've done the whole head, now you're going to tell us you're going to go shampoo. You tell us you're going to use neutralizing shampoo. When you come back, you'll get credit for your chemical straightener. Anybody have any questions? I just want to make sure when you have a drill, do the best you can to keep it clean all the way around the perimeter. I just want to make it clear to you guys that once you do the back and you're going to come to the front, that you all still take horizontal partings. Does everybody understand that? That I want horizontal partings on the front? Yes? Good. Anybody have any questions right now? So I'm always open for questions. I love questions. And when we start this on probably Tuesday, we'll go, we'll talk about it again, and we'll just get it all done. We'll figure it out. We're going to have, you guys are going to have, I'll put the picture up so you can see what my setup looks like. And then you'll have my sheet, and then you'll have your notes, and we're going to get it done, and it's going to be great. Anybody else? Questions, concerns? Oh, don't forget, I'm going to let you guys go to break. And after break, what do you got to do for me? Who can tell me?
A roller set.
At least one roller set that is going to stay over the weekend and dry. I'm going to leave it in, because on Monday we're going to do a comb out demo and a comb out drill. Okay? Good? All right, you guys, have a wonderful break. You've been amazing.